Hi everyone. Today we are going to see about growth and development assessment of 12 months infant. So here we are going to see various developments achieved by the infant during their life. First, moving on to physical and biological development. Weight of the baby. The birth weight tripled during the infancy period. Approximately, it will be about 9 to 12 kg during the infancy. Next, the length. Birth length increases 50% of birth. Approximately, it will be about 75 to 85 centimeter. Head circumference. Head and chest circumference will be equal and it will be about 46 centimeter or 18 inches during the infancy. It has increased by 1/3 since birth. Chest circumference. Chest circumference of infant is 46 centimeter or 18 inches. Respiration is about 30 to 40 breaths per minute. Blood pressure, it will be 90 by 60 mm mercury. Anterior fontanel, it closes at 12 to 18 months. Babinski reflex disappears. Here, when the sole of the foot is firmly stroked, the big toe bends back towards the top of the foot and the other toes fan out. This is a normal reflex up to about 2 years of age. Lando reflex disappears during infant. A normal response in infants when held in a horizontal face-down position to maintain a convex arc with the head raised and legs slightly flexed, typically displayed around 3 months of age. Lumbar curve and the compensating dorsal curve develop as walking continues. Physiologic stability achieved and maintained during first year. Motor development. In motor development, there is gross motor development as well as fine motor development. First, moving on to gross motor development, the baby will be stand alone for variable length of time. The baby can sit down from standing position. And the baby can walk in few steps with help or alone, and the hand held at shoulder height for balance. And the baby improves competence in motor skills through practice. And moving on to fine motor development, the baby has good pincer grasp and the infant picks up small bits of food and transfers them to mouth. Next, the baby enjoys eating with fingers. Next, the baby attempts to put a small pellet into a narrow-necked bottle but does not succeed. The baby releases one or more objects inside another object or container. And next, the baby attempts to put one block on top of another but does not succeed. The baby turns pages in a book, but usually no one at a time. Drinks from a cup and eats from a spoon, but still requires some help. The baby holds crayon adaptively to make a stroke or a mark on a piece of paper. And moving on to sensory development, the baby listens for recurring sounds, and the baby has full binocular vision and it was well established. and amblyopia. It may develop with lack of binocularity. Amblyopia, it's otherwise known as lazy eye. It is reduced vision in one eye caused by abnormal visual development early in life. The weaker or lazy eye often wanders inward or outward. Amblyopia generally develops from birth up to age 7 years. It is the leading cause of decreased vision among children. And the baby follows fast moving object with eyes. And the baby discriminates simple geometric forms, example squares, circles, etc. And the visual acuity of the child will be 20 by 100 to 20 by 50. Next, moving on to psychosocial development. According to Erickson's psychosocial development theory, in this age, sense of trust versus mistrust. So here, the major question asked to the infant is, can I trust the people around me? And the important event is the baby will be trust if the caretaker is taking care of them good. For example, if the baby gets adequate feed and the baby will be trusting the caretaker. So the baby is getting a hope towards the caregiver and they are developing a trust towards the caregiver. If they are not getting this needs or if they are not fulfilling the needs, they will be developing mistrust during this stage. Sense of trust theoretically achieved if not a sense of mistrust predominates. Infants' emotions such as fear, jealousy, anger can be more clearly interpreted during the stage. Attachment developed to primary caregivers. And the baby clings to caregiver, usually mother, when fearful. Explores away from caregiver if secure. The baby responds to requests for affection such as a kiss or a hug. And the baby has established beginning view of self as a separate person, security blanket or favorite toy beginning to provide comfort. The baby cooperates in dressing, puts arms through sleeves, feet into shoes, and take off socks. Drops object on purpose to someone can pick them up. And moving on to psychosexual development. According to Sigmund Freud, oral stage comes under 0 to 1 year. And spiritual development, it is undifferentiated till the age of 1 year. Next, intellectual development. According to Jean Piaget, sensory motor stage and comes under substage 4, coordination of sensory schemas. So the 6 subcategories of sensory motor states: substage 1, 0 to 1.5 months, reflex schemas; substage 2, 1.5 months to 4 months, primary circular reaction; substage 3, 4 months to 8 months, secondary circular reaction; substage 4, 8 months to 12 months, coordinated secondary circular reaction; substage 5, 12 months to 18 months, tertiary circular reaction; substage 6, 18 months to 24 months, beginning of symbolic representation. So primary, secondary, and tertiary circular reaction. Baby sucks thumbs and the baby enjoys sucking here. In the primary circular reaction, action and response both involve infant's own body. It will be happen during 1 to 4 months. Then baby coos and baby sees smiling face. So in secondary circular reaction, action gets a response from another person or object leading to babies repeating original action. It will be happen between 4 to 18 months. Next, the baby steps on rubber duck. Baby squeezes rubber duck and the duck squeeze. So in tertiary circular reaction, action gets one pleasing result, leading baby to perform similar actions to get similar results. This will be happen from 12 to 18 months of age. Next, the baby has learned that objects continue to exist even when out of sight. That is object permanence. Beginning perception of cause and effect relationship. Early beginning of anticipatory based on predictions or beliefs and intentional goal-directed behavior. Problem solving begin to develop although the infant has not learned to think first. And moving on to moral development. According to Kohlberg's moral development theory, pre-conventional morality, stage 0 to 2 years. Here, punishment and obedience orientation. Pre-conventional morality is the first stage of moral development and lasts until approximately age 9. At the pre-conventional level, children don't have a personal code of morality, and instead, moral decisions are shaped by the standards of adults and the consequences of following or breaking their rules. Kohlberg's theory of moral development, level 1 pre-conventional, younger than 6. So step 1, punishment and obedience orientation. Here obey rules to avoid punishment. And step 2, navy hedonism, conforms to get regards to have favors returned. Language and speech development, receptive language. The baby responds with gestures or actions more complex verbal requests such as please give it to me. Next, expressive language may speak 2 or more words like mama, dada, etc. And understands meaning of many more words than can be spoken. The baby knows names of increasing number of objects. Imitates sounds animals make. Intonation becoming more like adult speech. Continues using jargon indicates no by shaking head. Beginning, voluntary control over responses to sound may delay response to another's voice. Vocalization decreases when the walking increases. Play stimulation, visual, auditory, tactile, and kinetic. Provides large crayons for playing. Provides stacking discs or blocks. Provide objects to place inside large containers. Place infants in walker several times a day to encourage walking movements. Encourage infant to push a chair or stroller around. Provide push and pull toys to encourage walking. Give infant piggyback rides to improve balance. Encourage infant to walk, eventually holding only one hand. Provide rough house activity. Sing and talk with infant. Encourage the child to push the chair. Provide increasing visual, auditory, tactile, and kinetic stimulation. And thank you. Hope all enjoyed this content.